I would warn against the media elitist complex. You know, the media is always talking about the imperial presidency, the power of the imperial presidency. I think we ought to hear a little bit of discussion of the imperial media and its power. You see, presidential power is limited by the courts, limited by the Congress. The media's power is unlimited. They can tell an untruth, print an untruth, which some of them consciously do, if it's going to sell newspapers or what have you, or win a prize.
I told you like a couple weeks ago, I never liked Nixon. I just thought he was a terrible traitor, took us off the gold standard. But man, a lot of the stuff he says were.
I know. I thought Michael Jackson was a pedophile till I woke up too.
Kind of bold. He's like, I don't like CIA. I think they're terrible. I mean, just really kind of crazy.
Isn't it Roger Stone that has like a huge back tattoo of Nixon?
I don't.
Have you ever seen that? Mm-hmm. It's like his entire back is Nixon, is a tattoo of Nixon doing the "I'm not a crook" thing.
I'm not a crook. Blah, blah, blah. Welcome everyone. Zoo. Aquarium.
All our friends.
All everyone. All our friends.
All our friends.
Friends.
Playing me music earlier.
So yeah, a lot of stuff to go into. But we have a sponsor today. Today's video is sponsored by Capitalist Exploits. You can be an insider, a fly on the wall of their hedge fund. The links in the description.
What is it called? Capitalist Exploiters. That's their name.
Exploits. You know,
oh God, I was like, that's a really bad name.
You can unlock your financial potential with CapEx Insiders, your ultimate guide to elite investing strategies. Their expert insights and exclusive tips empower you to make savvy investment decisions, transforming your portfolio and securing your financial future. Whether you're a seasoned investor just starting out, CapEx Insiders offers invaluable advice tailored to your needs. Join their community of successful investors and gain access to the secrets that drive wealth and success. Don't miss out on the opportunity to elevate your investment game. Subscribe to Cap Insiders today and watch your investments soar. Your path to financial freedom starts in the link below. Actually, their stuff's pretty impressive. Truth Pilot, they have almost a 4.8. Building generational wealth, but the returns are kind of nuts. Since 2019, when they started their insider model, they've more than doubled the S&P 500, and they're beating the NASDAQ, which have been doing FANG stocks. That's been
just Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google.
Netflix, Google, yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can throw Tesla in there. But you've been doing pretty good since 19. And they've been beating them. They have over 100 investments you can get into today across those industries. This is what blew my mind. They're targeting 300% profit for high dividends, over 2,000 members. Ongoing customer support and guidance, but they have income portfolios that are international, that are more on the not so aggressive side, but are still putting at 8% income. So check them out. Links and everything are below.
So this is what I have learned so much watching your videos, and when you were teaching me about doing those pools and staking stuff and all that. Mm-hmm. Because you look into like the what are they called? The little investigations, the reports of the health of the coin or whatever, or a project. And like right there, you're doing your own due diligence. You're looking at the health of the project.
Yeah. A lot of that's what blows my mind, because they'll put it right on the website. Like a lot of coins are like, oh, we've been audited by Cert K, and we had this No
but
one
you
looks,
look into the
no
audit.
one looks at the audit.
Yeah.
You can just click it, and then the audit's like, this is terrible. There's back doors we found. There's all this terrible stuff, and it's like, but they're like, well, they've been audited. They've done an audit. Yeah, but it's a bad audit. You should check it out. So I go to Trustpilot and actually read through it. Well, there's some crazy stuff. Do you remember I told you about a movie we watched for family night? And it was a good movie. And it had Batman, the new. He's not even the new Batman, but my Batman is. I mean, it's always Adam West, but I guess it would say Michael Keaton. But
oh, really?
There's
a new guy though.
Well, Twilight's the new Batman.
I don't know what that means.
The Twilight guy.
Oh, a Twilight guy.
Yeah,
I do know the books here.
Before that, it was Ben Affleck. I thought Ben Affleck was good. I didn't think he was going to be good, but he was good old Batman.
I didn't like him as Batman.
I thought he was a good old Batman. He was a crotchety.
He was too soft, and
I thought he was gruff and grizzled.
No.
Anyway, the other guy, I forgot his name. Oh, I can look.
The little blonde guy, the younger guy.
Yeah, Chris Rock was in this. Christian Bale, that's the one. Margot Robbie is in it. It's an amazingly good movie. Robert De Niro. Amsterdam. It's called Amsterdam. Remember I told you about it?
Okay.
And it's a very long movie. It's a little bit artsy.
I do remember you talking about that.
Artsy, it seems, but it was a good, great cast. There was good stories. It was very nice. And then it took a crazy turn. And then I'm watching it, and the crazy turn is based on a true story about the United States being
You're getting a strike.
Yeah. Okay. It's about the United States being taken over in a coup by large companies. This is real. This isn't fake. This happened. What I did not know is that you know who one of the guys was that led it? It was Old Man Bush. Old Man Bush.
Poppy, not George or W, right?
Right.
What
yeah.
You mean?
So the original Bush.
But he was CIA, right?
Well,
Prescott.
No, he was just a bad guy. I think he became CIA when he got caught being a bad guy.
Oh, that would make sense.
He worked for the Nazis, right? He was working for the Nazis. He got caught working for the Nazis,
right?
And then I think he went to work for them. But so they tried to commit this coup and take over the United States, and Robert De Niro stopped it because we had he's a general. So they're trying to take over
his character.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm pretty sure Robert De Niro is a bad guy.
They need this bill passed, right, in order to do this. Just like the Banking Act, but and people are stupid. Especially, Americans are dumb. They passed.
Lazy.
It was the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing ever. They went through the Depression. They're like, no more bankers. We learned our lesson. You people are terrible. You sound money. They learned their lesson. And bankers, all the banking cabal came together, and they just pulled a Brer Rabbit, and these dumb, bare, stupid people voted for it. They're like, oh, whatever you do, don't vote for that there Banking Act. We don't like that. Well, what do you mean you don't like that? Oh, don't vote for that Banking Act. We will not like that. Well, that's terrible. We're going to vote for that Banking Act. And they're like, no, don't. Oh, well, guess what you just did? You just created the Federal Reserve.
Empowered them,
But anyway, so these guys come together, and they want to overthrow the government and basically modeled after Nazis, modeled after Hitler. But they need these votes to pass. So there's this huge swath of remember how like the VFW and stuff used to be much bigger when we were younger? Was it more in the Shriners and all that
yeah,
stuff?
my grandfather, I can't remember.
Yeah, all those older
like
people,
that.
they came back and they kind of, because there was no PTSD, wasn't a thing. So it was a very close-knit group.
Ah.
So they were like, hey, we need to get this general on board and then tell everyone to vote for us, and then we take over the country with this act. And here, let me it'll blow your mind. First, I'll play this, which is about Bush.
Prescott Bush was actively involved in money laundering Nazi money within the U.S.
What?
He was the vice president of Union Bank, which was laundering Nazi money in the millions. He was also the executive manager for the Hamburg American Line, which was a cruise ship. They would offer journalists a free ride and pay them to write pieces on Hitler that would help boost his image. And they also were caught bringing back Nazi spies into the U.S. But none of these guys were tried. In fact, the U.S. government ended up liquidating the bank. They gave Prescott Bush $1.5 million. It was just the beginning of this Bush empire. The Bushes were sued in the early 2000s by 2 Holocaust survivors. Bush was involved with a steel company. They had prisoners within Auschwitz manufacturing these steel industries.
Using them as workers?
They were profiting from slave labor in these concentration camps, and Prescott Bush was directly involved in that.
Dude, that's wild.
He profited off of World War II, created his own empire. Then years later, his son becomes president.
Now they do it in private prisons all over.
Yeah. So the Amsterdam thing is the second kind of part of that, which I didn't know that one of those guys was Bush, which was insane. Yeah, this is all later on, but he was there at the beginning. He was there, because America was not. There was one of the biggest Nazi rallies ever was in Madison Square Garden. It was very, very, very American. The whole idea of family and and you can say what you want. It is similar to Make America Great Again. It was nationalism. It was be proud. It was a very big message in the United States at that time. Before we knew a lot of the stuff that we knew. But yeah, exactly. It's rinse and repeat. So here's the you should watch the movie Amsterdam, because it's crazy when you know it's real. It just it blows your mind at how close the United States came to falling. And we can argue about it. Well, look now.
It did fall.
We're gonna have this in Civil War, but this almost happened. This happened, and it almost all fell apart.
You could argue that it did, and
yeah,
that we've been living under that.
We just found a different way
then.
to do it, just slower and more expensive for them. Here, check this. You should check out Ninjas or Butterflies. They have a good
I
channel.
learned a piece of history today. Prescott Bush and multiple elites were forming an active coup to take over the U.S. government and convert it into a fascist state that replicated the Nazi Party.
No way.
FDR was the president. He was basically going to tax these big corporations. All these businessmen were like, hate that. They formed the American Liberty League. They had recruited ex-soldiers that fought in World War I, and they had got this guy, his name was General Butler. He was a decorated war general. And so they're like, hey, we are going to overtake the White House and implement martial law for anyone that's unemployed, because this was during the Great Depression. They will go to imprisonment camps to do slave labor, and anyone that opposed this will be killed. Butler agreed, but his whole intention was to find out who was behind this thing. As soon as he found out, he spilled the beans. When Congress released the notes of that meeting, they left out all these dudes' names, and instead of them being charged for treason, FDR said, you guys can go scot free, but you have to get behind what I want to do. After they agreed to that, we entered World War II.
Whoa.
Or butterflies. I wondered what you said.
Ninjas or Butterflies. That's the name of their channel. But if it was if people just lived by honor like they should have, and it wasn't like, hey man, let me use this for my political gain, and you would have crushed them. Imagine where we'd be now. But now, imagine where we would be if something like this was happening, or is happening, like you made the point, and there is no more free press like there was then. He went and spilled the beans to the press. And once
captured.
And once people learned about it, it was over, it's done. Now you can spill the beans to the press, and then the press will say, oh, that's disinformation. You must be a Russian agent or whatever. It's scary. It is scary. I mean, it happened. It happened, and if it happened the way it happened then, now it wouldn't go the same way.
How would it go now? What do you think?
Well, now, even if he did it, even if he, with the general, was like, got close, well, how would it go? O'Keefe doesn't even have his own company anymore. They kicked him out.
He just had a good ruling earlier today, though.
Goody. He was fired from his company because he went and did this. Everything that he did is nothing. They've exposed so much. The laptop, everyone went to prison for talking about the fake Russia thing, right? Nothing happened, because it's all, people don't, first off, they don't know, because they're told, oh, it's fake, it's fake, might be real, it's kind of real. Look, we don't know. And then some people saying, yeah, it's true. But it gets to the point where nobody cares. It's that Area 51 thing. It's like you're lied to, you know it's a lie. Finally, when they admit it, you're not even angry. That you've been lied to.
And that's what my comment is in response to. I was like, which part? The part where they hurt kids, or like that's some sick stuff.
But that, to me, that really blew my mind. It's not a conspiracy theory. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
This is something which I get your. Do you know about the Pope prophecy?
I haven't heard of Pope. Mm-mm.
Well, I think we're done. I think we're done soon. I think.
I hope so.
I think we got 5 years left, maybe.
Oh no. No.
And then we're finished, or it's like, total enlightenment, everything's great, but I don't see it moving that way. This is another thing I just to put out there. I thought it was interesting.
2027 as well. You guys want to hear something terrifying? The Prophecy of the Popes.
Oh boy.
This book in the Vatican archives predicted every single pope from 1143 all the way to our current pope. But the scary thing is, after Pope Francis, the last one, it just says Judgment Day.
Oh gosh.
It literally ends after Pope Francis?
Yes. The creepiest thing, inside St. Paul's Basilica, bordering the whole inner sanctuary, is a picture of every single pope. But what's weird is that there's only a certain amount of markers where you can put a picture. There's one left after Pope Francis. They have always said once that last slot is filled, it'll be the end of the world. What he predicted, the time it took to go from the first pope that he wrote about to the halfway mark was 422 years. And he's saying from the middle one to the end, another 422 years will be the end of the world. If you do 422 in the middle pope, which was 1585, that year is 2027.
Dang!
It's even weirder. Pope John the 23rd, he said that the end of the world would happen 2,000 years plus Christ's life. So that adds up to 2027 as well.
I thought Christ was in his 30s. I don't know if that's accurate. But.
Yeah, I think it was 27.
Mm-hmm. 30 something. Very interesting.
Did you watch Bitcoin 2024? Did you watch some of the keynote speeches?
I watched Trump speak at it. I didn't really watch anything else.
I think you did.
I watched Cynthia Loomis I
think you
watched
did yourself a
a
disservice.
couple hours one day.
You should have watched RFK. You should have watched RFK first.
I did watch part of that. And he called himself the Orange Man or something, or he's Team Orange or whatever. Like he said all the things that he thought would steal Trump's thunder. Like he said that he was
Yes,
going
that's why I think you did yourself a disservice. He was
to.
real, and Trump was at a rally.
He was at a rally as well as Trump was at a rally.
No, that's the thing. I swear to you right now, I felt like I got a time machine and I went back 2,000 years and I was being spoken to by Jesus on the mountain. I was so elated and
Well,
so
Jesus
angry,
doesn't murder unborn children. So
angry at the same time because this man was saying everything so perfect. It was just, and I don't trust politicians. And it's like, oh my God. Oh, it was, but I thought the thing that was so huge is that, especially for us, having been in this industry and hearing them call it the industry, it's very cool. But the space, the sphere, none of that bullshit, the industry. Going from like, oh my God, this is so huge. Katy Perry got her nails painted, and there's Bitcoin on her nails, and Ethereum. This is it. It's going to the moon. Got to every presidential, and Harris was supposed to go. Every presidential.
This was more of a Republican debate, I guess. Well, they didn't speak directly to each other, but then the RNC. Then
to have that the level of people that were there, and Ron Paul's on the sideline. Ron Paul's like being just interviewed by some dude. It was like validating, but also so surreal. Now everything that RFK said was perfect. He wants $4 million to be right away bought in Bitcoin. He wants to attach to the treasury.
We need to have Aaron Day come back on. I would love to hear his thoughts on this because I was watching and he was like, this is the worst idea ever because Bitcoin is it's not money. It is a security protocol, and putting that much into the U.S. government's hand is a bad idea for we the people.
I don't know, because they have 19% of the gold. He said, I want to have 19% of the world's Bitcoin. I don't want other countries to have more Bitcoin than us. And I want to add it to our reserves as digital gold. When I have real gold, I want to have digital gold. Which I thought, yeah, and he said that would also make the price skyrocket, which is, it's being upfront and honest, doing what they did to us. But okay, so they confiscate everyone's gold and steal it from the people. Then they raise the price artificially. So they take everything and then they say, now all our money's worth more because we have this and we made it worth more. They're basically doing that, buying all that Bitcoin and then locking it up and making their reserves. But they're upfront. It's the way it should go. But he also talked about proof of work being a security measure for the cyber world. He said that's something that people don't really talk about, is how secure Bitcoin is and the other applications that could have for everything that we need. It was a really and then just his story about how his kids taught him, about Bitcoin. He looked into it. The freedom of it, the whole, it was perfect. He said he got a big settlement from Monsanto, and he took all that money and put it into Bitcoin like years ago.
So he has a conflict of interest.
So he, no, he doesn't. I'm sorry, Elizabeth Warren. What'd you say? I'm sorry, every other person. What'd you say? I'm sorry. He's not but how is it? He's not even in the government. people in the government, they're making decisions that are doing that. And then also, like
he's saying what decision he would make when he is running.
And then Trump was talking
leading
about
the United States.
Bitcoin is about to overtake the market cap of silver, which, but it was all about Bitcoin. It was all about security of Bitcoin. Is all about what Bitcoin could do. It's all about. He talked about what you call Argentina, and then Trump came on, and Trump was
El
more
Salvador.
like,
He was talking about El Salvador, wasn't he?
El Salvador. And then Trump came on, and he was like, "Hey, Biden sucks. I like the Bitcoin." It was the same speech that he gave but he was talking about Bitcoin like for 30% of it.
But he said he wouldn't ever sell the Bitcoin.
It was all right. It was great that he is that, knows that much about it, but it wasn't as impressive to me as what RFK was saying about Bitcoin. It was so much more real. It was like it's like watching Richard Hart versus Andreas Antonopoulos.
Oh Lord, come on! That is so offensive and not true.
But no, it's what it was. It was
not to me.
One dude is just try. Hey man, I want to get it in. I want this office. It was a campaign speech to the Bitcoin.
How many crypto projects is RFK in? How many times has he minted an NFT, supported the community, encouraged it?
Yeah, but then you can get into how many times he sold steaks, Bibles, shoes. There's shoes with him getting shot that say fight. Everything is about making a buck when it comes to Trump. It's just like you're like Greg with Ethereum. You have to let it. You have to let it, and he has done some stuff, but he's got a ton of money in Bitcoin. When Trump said, "I really don't like the Bitcoin. I don't like it. It's a
he didn't say he didn't like it.
He said it's a competitive dollar. I like the dollar. I want to make the dollar stronger." And I said at the time, I just think he doesn't know what the fuck it is. He's an old guy. He doesn't know what it is. When he learns more about it, it'll change. He learned more about it, and it changed. But also, RFK said it. He's like, you could look at it more cynical and think that, politicians are here courting the 60+ million Bitcoin holders in the United States. And that just blew me away thinking, man, I remember going from Katy Perry's nails to now we're a political powerhouse. We're being courted by everybody. We have this power now that it just, I don't know how many people are in unions. But
BRICS is even pulling in Bitcoin for their basket as well.
Double rainbow.
Maybe I can make it.
That Biden was selling Bitcoin.
What? Oh yes, I posted something about that in. I don't know that Biden's doing it, but it says the government, which I think is more the NSA. That's my understanding that that's who holds the government Bitcoin. But they were dumping it while Trump was speaking, like trying to make it look bad or something. I don't know. What do they suppress the most? That's probably what you should buy and have in your own possession.
They did talk about PTS, and now they're just, it's not good. Anything paper is not good. I wish I was hoping Trump would bring up something about the silver market cap and then talk about, fake silver.
I know that was a missed opportunity. He could have brought up that silver's been suppressed for so many years with the derivatives, but he's also like saying that he's going to put Jamie Dimon in as the new treasury.
Yeah, as the new treasury.
I'm like, okay, well, once again, Trump brings all the ugliness up to the light. Wait, who wants to come stand in the spotlight and be exposed? Oh, you get to be next player up.
Yeah, but are you going to put a bunch of pedophiles or your grandkids just to expose them? No.
No, no, but the dollar is dying, and that's part of the plan. Well, the U.S. dollar will change from what.
Yeah, I think he wants to save the dollar. He does.
The
He wants to
dollar
save the
can
dollar.
be saved, but it's you have to it's a lot of word salad. But anyway.
And that's one thing that RFK did talk about is the terribleness of the Fed, which people and it's so weird. It's just weird that people are starting to know the fringe crazy shit that we've talked about for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, do you know how this really works?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just print money. Why do we have to pay stuff? And they just make it.
Yeah. Manarino did a great video today about the Fed and them changing the interest rates and how that just gives them license to print and what that does to the rest of us, and that they're actually have the balls to announce it.
Yeah.
Here's how we're going to screw you.
They're talking about now that the debt. I haven't. There's a game that I played on my phone forever, and it was like, I don't know, Wall Street something. It was, but you made so much money that it was like I learned all the crazy numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Which Google is the highest number. I don't know if you knew that. A Googleplex is actually theoretical.
I haven't heard the flex part, but I know
Googleplex. But yeah. So anyway, but they're talking about just all nations quadrillions in debt. That this debt bubble because it's the Fed's everywhere. It's the World Bank. They're talking about this huge bubble that they've because it hasn't been around long. As far as like human history,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about what money it means. How long were those seashells traded?
Seashells, I don't know.
Even if sand dollars and seashells were like,
even if you say Roman coins, I mean, it was a period.
Yeah, but even if the shells were like 200 years, it's still longer than what we've been doing this. You know what I mean? This is a short period of time in history. If this all blows up and we have a mini apocalypse, like The Postman. If you haven't seen Postman, watch Postman. It's a really great movie that the government or whoever, people suppress it because I don't know why. It's an amazing movie. But even if we have that, then like 100, 200, 500 years from now, people learn about it. They're like this weird experiment where people thought they could just print paper and people like killed each other for it. There was wars and it was weird, ridiculous. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like paper, the same stuff that we like set on fire, and it's like, yeah.
Gazoo said he's collecting sand dollars just in case.
See that you had to collect the sand dollars. You had to go and find them. You had to mine the sand dollars.
There's proof of work in mining sand dollars. Yeah,
proof of work. They're also attractive. They're pretty. They're actually alive, so you kill
they
them.
Are scarce. There's a scarcity. There's a finite number. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're onto something.
That and seashell. I mean, but that was the original money. That was the first currency. Was seashells and sand dollars
and beads. Yeah.
And then gold, and there's this old video. It was so hilarious. I need to find it, and then I don't know why I don't have it saved, but it's this guy, and he's like selling cheese, and this guy goes up, and it's like, give me a pound of your cheese. He's like, all right, here you go. That's the chicken. He goes, okay. And he goes, I want half a pound of cheese. All right, here, half a chicken. So the guy gets the chicken, he cuts it, gives him half the chicken. And so the guy goes up there, he's like, all right, I want a pound of cheese. So go ahead, it's chicken. He goes, well, hey, I got this. It's called gold. It's like, what am I going to do with that? It's just a chunk of metal. I want a chicken. He's like, no, this is the thing, man. Everyone's going to want this. This is going to be big. And he's like, I don't want that. That's stupid. And it was a Bitcoin thing, of how people said, and then he was like, get the hell out of here, you stupid gold freak. Nobody wants your dumb metal, you idiot. Get out of here. Go to the chicken. And then this guy comes up behind him and he's like, have you heard of silver? And then everybody was like, ah.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
It was hilarious. But yeah, I gotta find that video. All right.
You guys are getting movie review ideas. You're getting all kinds of great information. Make sure you're liking this video and subscribe to Sean's channel. And then go watch some of his other videos because he really digs into some great content behind the scenes and he does his due diligence.
That movie Amsterdam was nuts because it is a true story about how the United States, and they didn't sell it like that. They sold it like Marco, and the first part is like weird. Like they meet in Amsterdam and they're, living life there, blah, blah, blah. They come back to the United States and go back to work. And that's when it's like this weird historic thing and that's probably why the movie didn't do well with the giant cast it had. But also The Postman. You love The Postman. You seen The Postman?
I do like it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The Postman's awesome.
It's a good movie.
It's a very, very feel-good movie there.
Americana, hopeful. Yeah.
You spelled tyranny wrong.
Yes, it's Kevin Costner. That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that is
doesn't hurt.
It's weird how like when Hollywood turns against you for some reason, because Waterworld was good sci-fi, and they
really I have heard all these terrible things about it.
No, it's a great sci-fi movie. They just and same with the Postman.
Bashed it because it was Kevin.
Postman was awesome, and they just said, "Oh, it's one of the worst movies ever made."
Oh, I like it, but I love all the scenery stuff too. Like I love driving out to California, Utah, all that when Ben and I would go on those trips. Yeah. Like I love driving through New Mexico. I love Arizona. I love Colorado.
I used to like to drive, and I remember kids were little, and I was like, "Hey, let's all go for a drive." And we went out. I was going to take him to this.
You have to take him for ice cream or something.
It was like a petting zoo.
Oh yeah,
but it was actually. It's
actually in your car or whatever, like a drive-through.
No, it wasn't. No, you walked. It was a scam setup. They had like rich people that would come out and eat endangered animals and stuff like once a month.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was. But then they had a walk-through place where they were. I was going to get a serval from them, and my wife wouldn't let me because couldn't have a big cat. Anyway,
I'm with her.
So this is later on. She's gone. So let's go for a drive. And I thought we'd stop by there, but they're closed. So we're driving to the country, and they're acting weird, right? And there was this person had their a mailbox, right? And then they had a mailbox that was on this pole that was like 20 feet in the air. It said airmail. And I thought that was the funniest thing. It was hilarious. It's just out in the middle of the boonies, and they had this joke. It was hilarious. And the kids were like freaking being really weird. They're like, "Dad, are you going to leave us in the country?" And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Are you going to kill us?"
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, "What?" The only time I was like, "Why are we just driving in the country and we're getting further and further from?" And I was like, "People go on Sunday Drive." They're like, "No, they don't. It was back in like when the world was black and white." And I'm like, "No, man, it's nice. Look, did you see the mailbox and it said airmail up there? That's hilarious."
Yeah, I should have taken a picture. My mom and I went out and hit a couple little tiny towns around from where she is and just kind of took new roads. And there was like this giant silo in Oklahoma or in Arkansas, and it's to scale of a Budweiser beer can. And I guess it was done in the 70s or something, and they've kept it up. It's a whole thing. I want to say it was near Charleston or Barling. I'm not really sure, but somewhere over there. But yeah, my dad always loved taking like the long way home, different ways home.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I had a convertible when I was younger, because I'd like to go driving, and it was nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, dude, I did the one time, they were all freaked out. They still talk about it. They like tell their friends, like, one day my dad took us for a drive out to the country.
It's not like you went out to the middle of the desert and kicked them out.
Like, like when you take a dog out and you kill it or leave it by the side of the road. We were all freaking out like I was going to. I guess their mom just left them. There's
So they have abandonment issues, and
yeah,
each
then I'm like, let's all go for a drive in the country. Are you gonna leave us out here, Dad?
That's
I
sad.
was like, what are you talking about? Yeah,
Boy.
it was pretty hilarious. All right, well, let's wrap things up. Remember to check out the today's sponsor, CapEx Insiders. There's a link below that you can use to check them out and unlock the elite investment strategies with Cap Insiders and your path to wealth. All right. It was good hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat.
I played most all the videos anyway. I can play the one that Lisa hates.
Oh no.
And one of the most important films of the year. Hey, you can't sit here. I'll sit wherever I goddamn like. Steve McQueen is